Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to the Friendship Drive Beginner's Guide to Elite Dangerous Modules. If you're just getting started in the game, it can be tricky to know what each module does and what their ratings mean, so we're going to break it all down together in this video. First of all, we'll deal with the categories of modules. When you first enter the outfitting screen at a station, you'll see hardpoints, utility mounts, core internal, optional internal, and livery. We'll discuss what each of these means, and then we'll break them all down individually. Hardpoints are your ship's weapon mounts. Here you can install weapons or mining tools. Utility mounts are useful but optional modules that can be installed to assist your ship in various tasks. Core internal modules are required for your ship to function, so they cannot be removed but can be upgraded or downgraded as needed. All of your basic ship functions are controlled through your core internal modules. Optional internal modules include everything else, allowing you some flexibility with your ship build by adding various functional modules that are not required but may be useful, such as shields or a fuel scoop, for example. Livery is the final section, and while we won't be going into great detail on it, it's worth mentioning. Your livery includes optional aesthetic gear for your ship, including paint jobs, engine or weapon colours, and bobbleheads or decals that you can either purchase from the in-game store or earn through some specific events or activities. Before we break down each of the modules individually, let's cover module ratings. Modules are rated by a number and a letter, for example, 5A. The number on the module represents its size, and the letter represents its quality rating. Each module slot on a ship will have a maximum size it can carry. For example, a Python can have a maximum size of 5 in their frameshift drive slot. This means that you cannot fit anything bigger than a size 5 FSD in that slot. The same goes for their optional internal slots. Each ship will have a varying number of optional internal slots of different sizes. The letter rating is rated from A to E. The general rule is that A-rated modules will be the best and also the most expensive. E is the worst and also the cheapest. D-rated modules are the lightest weight, and B-rated modules are hardened, meaning they can afford to take more damage before they fail. Let's break down the individual module categories and give a brief overview of module types. For hardpoints, I'm going to tell you to forget everything we just talked about with regards to module ratings. What matters with hardpoints is their size and their type. There are 4 sizes of weapons: small or size 1, medium or size 2, large or size 3, and huge or size 4. Depending on your ship, you will have a combination of these sizes. Make sure to install the correct size for your hardpoint slot to get the most out of your weapons. Next up, the letter is still present, but you can mostly ignore it. Hardpoints can be fixed, gimbaled, or turrets. Fixed hardpoints only shoot directly in front of you. Gimbaled hardpoints can rotate within their mount, allowing them a wider arc of fire, but still mostly in front. Turrets can fire all around you as long as they have line of sight to the target, and are also the only hardpoints that can be controlled by a multi-crew pilot if you've brought a friend along. There are a variety of different hardpoints available, including weapons and mining tools. I'd recommend experimenting with different weapon loadouts and different combinations, as each pilot is different and each situation will call for different weapon types. I'm personally a huge fan of a combination of lasers and multi-cannons, but there are plenty of different options to choose from, so find out what works best for you and your ship. Next, let's break down each of the utility modules. The chaff launcher temporarily disrupts tracking of gimbaled or turreted weapons, meaning you can launch chaff in combat when being attacked by these types of weapons in order to briefly cause the enemy's weapons to struggle to track you. Keep in mind that chaff launchers do not affect fixed weapons, and gimbaled weapons can be fired as though they are fixed if your enemy untargets you. Electronic countermeasures, or ECM, can be launched to disrupt seeker missiles, torpedoes, or hatchbreaker limpets. Experimental modules include 2 individual modules. The shutdown field neutralizer prevents ships from being shut down by Thargoid shutdown fields, and so are only really useful if you're planning on exploring the Xeno side of Elite. The AX Xeno scanner allows pilots to scan Thargoids. It also identifies Thargoid hearts, allowing pilots to target and attack them, assuming they have the appropriate weapons installed. A frameshift wake scanner can be used to scan wakes left behind by ships, revealing their destination. This can be used to track pilots leaving, but also to gain data material from scanning their wake. The HEATSINK launcher can be used to reduce your heat levels quickly, which can be useful when using silent running, or if you overheat due to scooping fuel or accidentally getting a little too close to a star. WARRANT scanners are great tools if you're bounty hunting, as they allow you to scan ships to see if they have any outstanding bounties outside of your current system or jurisdiction. This can increase your bounty payout, but keep in mind that firing at a ship that is not wanted in your current system will still result in actions being taken against you, so proceed with care. Manifest scanners identify the cargo your target is carrying. If the target is carrying stolen or illegal goods, they can incur a bounty in the system. Point defense turrets automatically shoot down any missiles, torpedoes, mines, or hatchbreaker limpets within a certain range. They can even be useful when browsing Guardian sites, as even while you're still in your SRV and driving around, your parked ship's point defense will still engage on the Sentinel projectiles as long as it's in range. The Pulse Wave Analyzer is one of the newer mining tools, and once activated will help you locate asteroids with surface, subsurface, or core deposits. It's only really useful for this kind of mining and doesn't help with laser mining. Shield boosters do exactly what they say. They boost your shield strength. As long as you have a shield installed, they boost your shield strength by a certain percentage with diminishing returns for equipping more than one. Core internal modules are modules that are essential for the functioning of your ship. Every ship has the same core internal modules, though the size of each slot varies from ship to ship. You can upgrade or downgrade the modules in these slots, but they are required by your ship, so you will not be able to remove them entirely. Each slot is restricted to a specific module type as well. Bulkheads are the type of hull that your ship currently has. All ships come with lightweight alloys installed by default, but you can choose to install a different bulkhead type to increase your defense at the cost of mass and credits. Power plant is the heart of your ship and provides power for all of your other modules. Thrusters propel your ship whilst flying. Upgraded thrusters improve your speed and maneuverability. Frame shift drive is what allows you to enter and exit supercruise and allows you to jump between star systems. Upgraded FSDs allow for an increased jump range. Your life support is what provides you with breathable air inside your cockpit and is really only important if your canopy breaks, which can happen in combat. If this happens, the amount of time you have to get to a station and repair will depend on the grade of your life support module. Your power distributor allows you to distribute power between your ship's subsystems. This means you can assign power specifically to your systems, engines, or weapons depending on what you need more at the time. Your ship sensors are what detect anything you can see in space and allow you to target them. They are what display ships, locations, and objects on your scanner, and upgrading them increases the range at which they can detect things. Finally, your fuel tank is what determines how much fuel your ship can carry. You can carry additional fuel tanks in your optional internal slots, but you must have at least one in your core internals for your ship to function. Your optional internal slots are where your ship's build really begins to take form. There's a lot of different modules here, so we'll go over them very briefly so as to not take up too much of your time. You can install modules in these slots or leave them empty. They follow the same rules we discussed earlier with regards to size and rating of the modules for the most part. Some modules don't have different qualities and only have a size, for example cargo racks. Some modules can only be installed once in your system, such as shield generators. Otherwise you can kinda go wild. Auto field maintenance units or AFMUs allow you to repair your ship's modules in space if they get damaged whilst you're too far from a station. These are particularly useful when exploring way out in the black, as you might be gone for a long time. Cargo racks are pretty self-explanatory. They allow you to carry cargo, and increased size means more carrying capacity. A detailed surface scanner is what allows you to launch probes at a planet and map it. This is useful for exploration, but also for locating sites on the surface that you might want to visit. If you're the first person to map a planet and return the data to a station, your name will be displayed in the system map. You can also use it to map planetary rings to locate hotspots for mining. Likewise, the Discovery Scanner allows you to use the Full Spectrum System Scanner, or FSS, to locate objects in your system. You can find planets this way, and like with the Detailed Surface Scanner, if you're the first person to scan a stellar body and return the data to a station, your name will be displayed on the system map. The Discovery Scanner can help you locate valuable planets to probe and also locate signal sources. Discovery Scanners now come as standard on all ships. Fighter hangars can only be installed on certain ships, but allow you to carry fighters with you. Fighters are small ships that can either be flown by an NPC pilot or yourself, and can add a little extra firepower to your build. The frame shift interdictor allows you to pull other ships out of supercruise with you, allowing you to hunt targets in supercruise, or just annoy them. Fuel scoops allow you to scoop fuel from scoopable stars. If you need help figuring out how this works, I've linked my fuel and fuel scooping guide in the description. Fuel tanks are additional tanks that you can add if you choose to do so. I've very rarely done this myself, but have used it in the past for very specific scenarios. Hull reinforcement packages are basically extra armor for your ship. Limpet controllers allow you to launch various types of limpets, which are like little drones that help you accomplish specific tasks. At the time of this video, there are 7 different types of limpet controller that all fit normal limpets. You install the specific type of controller, for example a collector limpet controller, and then use generic limpets as ammunition. You have to buy the ammunition manually through the restock menu, or you can synthesize them using materials on your right-hand menu in your inventory tab. Module reinforcement packages protect your other ship's modules by absorbing a portion of the damage dealt to them. Passenger cabins are like cargo racks but for people, which sounds awful now that I think about it, but it's true. They allow you to take on passengers from the passenger lounges on stations. You can choose between different types, for example economy or first class cabins, and certain ships can also carry luxury cabins. Different passengers will have preferences for which type of cabin they want, and the size of the cabin determines how many passengers you can carry. The higher quality cabins will have a lower carrying capacity compared to a lower quality cabin of the same size. Planetary vehicle hangars allow you to carry a planetary buggy to drive around on planetary surfaces. The refinery is a mining specific module that converts the chunks of asteroid that you've mined into minerals that can be sold. Shield cell banks can be activated to quickly recharge a portion of your shields, provided your shields have not fully depleted already. That brings us quite neatly to the shield generator. Despite being an important module, it's not required, but fly without one at your own risk. Shield generators come in 3 different varieties: standard, biweave, and prismatic. Biweave shields have a lower total shield output but recharge slightly faster than standard shields. Prismatic shields have a higher total shield output than both, but it's important to note that they are a power play specific module, so you will need to engage in the power play mechanic in order to unlock them. I'd also like to mention the flight assists modules. This includes docking computers and supercruise assist, both of which are intended to help newer pilots get to grips with flight and docking when they first get started, though many commanders will choose to use them for convenience in certain situations. You can replace them with something else once you're comfortable, or even turn them off while still keeping them installed if you prefer, by accessing your ship menu on the right-hand interface panel. Finally, I'd like to mention the Planetary Approach Suite. This module enables you to land on certain planets and is required in order to do so. You can remove it if you want, but since nothing else can be installed in its slot, it's not really necessary. Some ships have military compartments which can only equip shield cells, hull reinforcement packages, or module reinforcement packages, or be left empty. There are a few other modules as well, including Guardian or Anti-Xeno weapons or modules. Doing certain activities will allow you to unlock frameshift drive boosters, special reinforcement packages, fighters, or even power plants and power distributors, but there's a ton of information that would really need to be covered in its own video. And that's the basic overview of modules in Elite Dangerous as of 2020. There may be more modules added in the future, especially with the release of Odyssey, but hopefully this helps you understand what the ratings mean and what each module does right now. Thanks for watching, Commanders. Fly safe and keep that friendship drive charging.
Thank you.